Hey, welcome back. This is the reboot, not of Wolf's Watch, but of Adventure CEO Leadership Insights. We have been interviewing CEOs since 2014, and today it is an honor to have co-host Henry Kahl. Henry, thanks for being with us today.
Hello, Jeffrey, and everybody.
And also our special guest and victim for this episode, Ken Walls.
Thank you for having me. I
Ken,
think.
I'm sorry, I just have to poke some fun with Ken. And I'll tell you, as you're watching this, comment. This is live. This is interactive. Have something to make notes with. You're going to want it when listening to with these two gentlemen. Plus, Ken is going to make a great announcement on something he's been working on that I've had the opportunity to see part of. I'm excited about learning more. And we will be talking about what is the entrepreneurial journey like, and how often do we get tongue tied saying that? It'll be about what have we learned? What has Ken learned? Henry's bringing some great questions and great experience as well along the way. And specifically, then what's the impact of AI on that? How is it making that business leadership, that entrepreneurial journey, even more intense and more opportunities? So, Ken, again, could you just share a little bit about your background? I mean, you've been a lifelong entrepreneur, and I notice I love the comment. Started selling candy in grade school.
I did.
Is that true?
So, maybe not grade school. Nah, probably sixth, seventh grade, somewhere in there. I don't know. It may have been earlier. I don't remember exactly. But I used to buy chewing gum at the five and dime store, if anybody is old enough to remember that. But I would buy packs of gum, and I noticed that a lot of people would ask me for a piece of gum, and I was happy to give them that. And then I realized I was out of gum, and I had given all of it away, and so I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So I started charging for it. I don't remember what I charged, 10, 25 cents, something like that for a piece of gum. And people got upset with me, and I said, "Well, then don't chew my gum." And then they would they would eventually succumb and buy a piece of gum from me. And so I would carry many packs of gum in my pockets to school every day, and I was a gum dealer and in school. And and it was just like, it just made sense to me. Like, why would I just give you my gum for free when you'll pay me for it? So and then, I started knocking on doors, selling my lawn mowing and snow shoveling services. Um, and I think that there was a huge benefit to me growing up in a family that, my mom worked in a factory for 25 years, I think, something
Wow.
like that. And when she
Hmm.
left, she was making $9 an hour. And she was at the top of the food chain. And I'm like, I no, I can't, I can't even fathom that. And so, there was something, and we don't have the money for that was a common, we can't afford it was a common theme in the house I grew up in. So I decided,
Yeah.
I'm going to do something about that, and not be in that place in my life. And so I just worked. I hustled my butt off, and I worked, and I still do that. I work 16 to 18 hours a day, especially with the project I've been working on for the last 6 months now, which we'll
Hmm.
talk about later. But that's just been my whole life. I'm 57 years old now, and that's just all I know is
And still selling gum to the kids,
no,
in a
no.
sense.
I give the
Figuratively,
kids
as you're
gum.
watching this, or if you're watching on replay, that's figuratively.
Yeah, go to my website, kensgum.com, and no, I'm kidding. Um, I'm
But
kidding.
it's those
But no,
it's those early experiences that are so important, and it
yeah.
seems like a lot of a lot of younger adults have not had that opportunity in the last generation, and at least the last generation and a half, because I've had similar circumstances, and I really appreciate as an adult, especially at this point in life, that my dad was always, he's like, okay, hey, that's great. Now, let's talk about how you're going to pay for that. So I
Yeah.
cut lawns, shoveled snow, raked leaves, did stuff like that before I got into the workforce. And it now I really appreciate having had that experience, but also that mindset of going, yeah, if you want this, okay, let's take a look at how we're going to make that happen. And oh, by the way, you you can do stuff for people, and they'll gladly pay for it if if you're paying attention to what it is that they value and what's helping them.
Right. I didn't even have the I didn't have that kind of training. Like nobody said, how are we going to pay for it? I just
Yeah.
heard no. And I was like, is there any other option? Like, and so, I eventually, again, when you grow up in a really poor family, I guess it was lower middle class, maybe. I don't know when I don't know. But when you grow up like that and you don't, the training wasn't there. I'll just say that. The training wasn't really there, and so I didn't know anything else except for rely on my own instincts. I don't even know if it's instincts, but it was like, okay, well, my friends are all wearing Jordache jeans and Levi's, and I'm wearing whatever off brand we got from, the cheapest place we could find them. And if I wanted to fit in or feel like I was fitting in as a kid, I had to make that happen on my own. I had to go figure it out because nobody else was going to do it for me. So I paid for my own Jordache jeans. And people are like, what the hell are Jordache jeans? But, they were a thing back then, they're not anymore, but, and it's the only way I know. I don't know another way.
Yeah, but
They were like,
I judge
go ahead, Henry.
that not many people are trained. I mean, I think it's the nose in life, or well, if you want to do that, how are we going to make it happen?
Correct. Yeah.
But it was interesting. Just a side note, talked to my son last night, and he's got a roommate who's starting a business. And when he first started talking about it, I thought my son was starting a business. And I said, "That's interesting that you're starting something." He goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." But but my son was one where, there's a couple of like big trips and things he wanted to do, and it's like, well, if you want to do it, I'll help you make the money, but you've got to go make the money.
Yeah.
And so we, repaired lawnmowers one summer just to raise money for one of his trips. He had to go hustle them, and I helped him work on them. But it's like it kind of took the opposite effect. It didn't inspire him to be his own person and his own entrepreneur. It kind of pushed him the other opposite way.
Well, I think, I've heard people say that you're born with it or you're not. And I don't know that I agree with that. I think everybody can learn how to be disciplined. And that's what it all boils down to is how disciplined are you? We were talking before the show that I've not really ever held I've had, I was hired as the VP of sales for a giant company and, some other things, but I didn't hold those positions long because I honestly, being surrounded by a bunch of paycheck cashers, I don't know how else to say it, but waiting on that check, you know what I mean? Like I just can't wrap my brain around that. Like I hear people say that, they can't find a job or they're unemployed. And I'm thinking, well, there's so much opportunity. Like it's literally unlimited opportunity, especially in the United States. Like go make something happen. And with AI, which we're going to get into, like, holy mackerel, there's never been a better time to be alive than right now.
That's true. That's true. There's always a lot of opportunity, and the tools now make it so much more convenient, so much quicker, affordable to experiment and see, hey, is this going to work in the marketplace? and then run with it, or to get the feedback that, no, there's not really much interest in that. Okay, next.
Yep.
But it also gets confusing too.
A bit.
What part?
A bit.
Well, which tools? How do you use them? When do you use them? And then all of a sudden that you've been playing with AI for a bit, and all of a sudden you want to roll it out in your small business because that's my focus is small business.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like I don't manage my people well, and I've been managing AI like I manage my people, and it's blowing up in my face. So
Yeah.
what do I have to do to make all this right?
Well, I happen to have the answer to that, Henry. And if you join the
Good.
Grow Live Academy, I'll share it with you. I'm kidding. So no, at the end of the day, I mean, if you want me to answer that, I don't want to make assumptions. There's Jerry Eisenhower. I see him
Eisenhower.
in the
Yes,
comments.
Jerry.
Jerry. Um,
It's called the entrepreneurial mindset, and many are not intended to work for others. Yeah, absolutely.
so one thing that I recently discovered because of somebody that's in the Grow Live Academy, Mark Rodriguez, is there's an AI tool that if you have a Gmail account, you have access to it. It's included. They have paid levels, but it's called Gemini, and then part of that whole suite that Google has created, there's something in there called Notebook LM,
Mhm.
and Notebook LM is by far, and there's nothing even remotely close to it, by far the most useful AI tool that anybody could be using right now because I, name a topic. It doesn't even matter. Name any topic that you want to name. We showed this to Jerry Eisenhower, and he was like, it was like Mark did. I didn't. Mark showed this, and it was in one of our Grow Live Academy mastermind meetings, and Jerry's a member too, and so Jerry is a chimney. He teaches chimney sweeps how to make a lot of money and how to grow their business and all of that. And so Mark on the fly did a notebook in Notebook LM. And what you do is you feed it material, you feed it source material, and you literally create a brain, if you would. And so it is the most phenomenal tool that I have ever seen in the AI world. And I mean, I've been using AI since the day it came out, maybe the day after, and really diving into it. Jeffrey sends me stuff that and I love seeing it. I love seeing the video stuff that you've done, and I work on so much. I work literally. I right up until the second I had to get on here with you, I was working with AI. I work with it 16 to 18 hours a day. And people that are not using it have a way bigger payroll than I have. Way bigger. Cuz like it I hate to say this, but it is literally replacing jobs and entire departments, quite honestly. I had a
Hmm.
team of developers in India work for me for about 13 years, I want to say. I don't need them anymore at all for anything.
Wow.
Like, I'll say
Wow.
hello, but I don't need developers anymore.
So from a business standpoint, is it about just grabbing the tools and plugging them in, or do we really need to take a harder look at our business and see what we can innovate now that we've got these tools?
Well, again, I think it would depend on the industry. I remember I have a client here in Dallas that they're doing really, she's an attorney, very incredibly successful attorney. They have an elevator in their house. Like it's insane. And I'm over there helping her set up her new computer and monitor and all this stuff. And I said, have you heard of, excuse me, AI and chat GPT? She said, no, what's that? And I go, huh, watch this. So, she's like, oh my gosh, Ken. She goes, will that thing do like write a brief for a judge, a summary or some kind of legal thing? And I go, don't know. I'm not an attorney. Let's give it a shot. And literally within 30 seconds, it had this complete summary brief written out based on what the information I gave it. And she goes, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
And she she said that would actually fly what it wrote out. It would actually fly and with a couple of tweaks.
Sure.
Again, I don't know of, I'm going to speak on April 14th to a group of swimming pool company owners here in Dallas, which there's a lot of swimming pool companies here in Texas. And there's also a lot of pollen from cedar trees. That's why my sinuses are going crazy. But anyway, and I was thinking about, well, what am I going to talk to them about? Because it's about AI and how it can help your business. And I thought, well, I'm going to dive right into the deep end. I came up with that. AI didn't. And I'm going to say, look, I don't want to drown you guys in a bunch of useless information. I'd throw in some swimming pool puns. But I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I'm going to go to AI. I'll create a notebook and I'll research North Texas swimming pool industry and I'll get a bunch of websites in there. I'll create a brain and then I will create a notebook. You can create slideshows easily. And I mean, really easily. And I'll have it create a slide. I'll say, listen, your job as my notebook brain, your job is to what's Jerry saying? AI is changing the way home service businesses are operating in a multitude of ways that is taking their businesses and profit to I know he meant to say much higher level. So because it is, there is no way anybody that's struggling in business right now, you're just not using AI or you're not using it the right way. And so,
I was on a call. Sorry, let me
go ahead.
Just reminded me of a call I was sitting in on another mastermind group that I'm involved with that's marketing focused. And someone created a tool to help them write marketing copy. And while we're live in this conversation, like in 5 minutes, they created 75 advertising pieces that were solid, ready to go to put out in the marketplace and test to see which one gets the best results. And I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were able to, like the attorney you were talking about, they were able to scan through them real quick and go, okay, yeah, this is good. And it wasn't doing anything that it shouldn't. And to be able to discern that it's solid copy and that the ad's constructed right.
I think
to be able to do that, even if it gets me to 80% in 5% of the time it would normally take me to do something, what a huge win that is, let alone if it actually is production ready.
Yeah. I think once people really, and there's a lot of people afraid of AI. They're afraid to get in and try to utilize it or use it for their business or, and it's like, okay, well, if you're paralyzed by fear, you probably shouldn't be an entrepreneur at all. Like seriously, we've all seen the graphic of the entrepreneur's journey of, oh my God, we're gonna be that we've made it, yes, and then the next day it's like, oh God, everything, we're gonna lose it all. The world's coming to an end. And I have been there so many times. I've lost cars. I've lost houses. I You know, when people say, what university did I go to? I went to the University of Hard Knocks, and hard kicks in the face and hard kicks I mean, everywhere, you know, and it's like
Yeah.
you've got to be willing to just do it. I hate to be so cliche, but you really have to be able to face that fear. It's not like it's, you know, people I think live in this place, Jeffrey, of where they're like, well, I'm experiencing a fear you don't understand. And it's like, dude, I wake up with that fear every day. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, Henry probably has it too. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, like it's just part of being an entrepreneur. It's like,
Well, and Henry, I know the business owners that you work with, that's one of the conversations that you have with them as well, is working through that up and down. It's like, yeah, we're gonna make it. It's like, oh man, I hope the bungee cord's attached, because today we're in free fall.
right, right, right.
Yep, they're always looking for that silver bullet, though. That's part of the, there's a degree of discipline that has to occur. Sometimes the fear is just going to be there, whether it's over your head or under your feet, but it's there. So it's just a matter of how you deal with it. And some of them, they're looking for that silver bullet, and it just doesn't exist. So you've got to get them down the path of just, look, it's all about discipline. Wake up today and let's do what we need to do. But I also think that that's part of the fear of, okay, now this AI tool is coming along. There's opportunity in there, but I'm not exactly sure how to extract the opportunity or take advantage of it from an opportunity standpoint.
Well,
Yeah.
and so the real answer to that is it's paradoxical, to be completely real about it. You go to AI and say, how can you help my business? That's all you have to go to Gemini. Chat GPT is pretty good too, but Gemini is.
Yep. And what I realized. Go ahead, Henry.
No, I was just going to say, but I judge that some of the responses are rather superficial, and it's like, okay, I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, I could have thought of that on my own. Matter of fact, I had thought of some of the stuff on my own, and now all of a sudden, some of this implementation. But sometimes it's like I need something a little different, mostly because I want something different. So how do you get it to? And I think that's the question I'm parroting out for some others is, how do you
There's my brother.
interact and get it to give you something other than what's not superficial?
Well, that's a great point, Henry, and you're right. It will. There's my brother. He's there. Him and his fiance are. He is a big insurance agent in Ohio, and they're now using AI and it's definitely improving their business. So what you do is, if it's a superficial, or it's not deep enough, or it's not broad enough, or wide enough, you tell it to go deeper, and it will. Say that's here's what I say. Can I swear on here? I probably can't. I won't.
Ken, we talked about this. Damn it! If you swear, the shit is going to hit the fan. All right.
Here's what I do. So I use an AI tool called WhisperFlow. And WhisperFlow is phenomenal. You guys probably use it. I don't type anymore. My brothers use it. He's like, dude, this changed my life. And I'm like, good. Make sure you get to 2,000 words, because I get a free month, and so do you if you use my link. After you get to 2,000 words. But anyway, so I've not paid WhisperFlow a dime yet, by the way, and I've had it for a long time. So, I use WhisperFlow, and I go to Gemini and I go, hey, I need help with my business. If it's a general question like that, which it never would be from me. But if you're just getting started with AI, say, I need your help with my business. And it will start asking you questions. And Doug said 2,000 words. I'm approaching 1 million words. I'm just shy of it, actually. So you know, you go to AI and you ask it for help. It'll ask you questions. What's your business? What do you need help with? Et
Yeah.
cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Well, and that's
And
relatively recent too, though, isn't it? I mean, the pace of change has been so amazing,
it
and
has been.
the reasoning functions like that, where they will really start digging in and asking questions, is what,
Yep.
like within the last couple of months.
Yep. And here's the thing. I have this massive, I mean massive. So AI told me, Ken, you have this platform built to a level that most people would have already burnt through their initial $10 million of funding to build something on this level
Yeah, yeah.
and it's, I mean, it's massive. It's a massive program. I'll explain some of it if you guys want in a bit.
I
But
don't know. We'll get. I'm watching the time too because I want to make sure we get to that because it's such a it's a great platform,
oh,
and it's a great example of what we can do
yeah,
when working with AI as well.
yeah,
One thing I wanted to share really quick is something that I a realization that I had. I'm asking questions. I've been using AI a lot, I think, more than most, and I caught myself I was hesitating to ask certain questions. They're the kind of basic stuff. And I go, well, I should know that. And I'm thinking and I'm doing homework and research before asking the AI for a question because I want to impress the AI and make it think I'm really smart. My
yeah.
wife started laughing so hard she had to go out for a walk to walk it off, and she's just like, "Oh, she's just like, just do it. Good breakthrough, kid. Pat on the head. Here, go. Get on with it."
Uh,
What's interesting is the average human being has an IQ of around 100 or so. They say if you hit 145, you're hitting the genius levels. And I read something that said if they could even calculate AI's IQ right now, which they can't, that they're estimating it would be somewhere around 11,000.
Huh.
That's how much more
wow.
advanced it is than the human IQ. So when you go, well, I don't know that, and that's the Henry. You hit the nail on the head. That's why people are not using AI. They went to it and they said, "Hey, I need help with my sales in my business," and then it gave them a generic answer. And hey, Autumn, get everybody to share this out on X for me, would you? Drax everybody's at CPAC here in Dallas. But anyway,
Hey, Autumn. Oh, hey, here's
hey,
Megan
there's
too. Sorry, Ken.
Megan.
Here's Megan too.
There's
Autumn, Megan,
Megan.
thanks so much for
Megan will
joining
get
the
them to share
conversation.
it. Megan carries a big stick. So
StreamYard.
StreamYard, right? So thank you, Autumn. So I think that fear of it and maybe using it once or twice 6 months ago and not getting the results they were hoping for is stopping people. But remember, AI, I could be talking about something right now and tomorrow morning is completely different because it's advanced
Yeah.
so much. So it's changing rapidly.
And I think
And
that's what not so much for me, myself, because like you guys, I'm on it multiple hours every day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do get where there's some pushback. It's like, well, okay, I started off with Chat GPT, and now everybody seems to be moving towards Claude for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, Ken comes along and it's got Notebook LM, and you read a little bit about Notebook LM, and it says, well, once again, you have I like your perspective, but you're creating your own brain. But
Yeah.
but everybody's like, because it changes so rapidly,
Yeah.
they get confused.
Well, I think again, when you use it enough, here's what Claude told me last night. It was giving me, it's helping me with programming now, and the reason is it's helping me is it's more advanced with programming and coding than anything else is. And I I kind of like Chat GPT is like the greatest cheerleading squad on the planet. Like it breaks out pom poms. It freaking goes crazy for your ideas and your questions and makes you feel like a king or a queen. and Google Gemini, if you're using it for coding purposes, it's like, let's jam it down their throat. Yeah, let's go. And it's like, it's like really like, intense, and you're like, yes, and then it breaks everything, and you're like, no. And so what I like about Claude is what I like about a good salesperson. A good salesperson will ask a ton of questions to identify the need and make sure that they're giving you the right solution for your need. And Claude isn't like, oh, let's take a guess, because that's what ChatGPT does. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I see what's going on here, and this is what, and it's convincing. It's like, oh my God, it just saw it. It knows what's happening, and you take its code and you put it in, and it's like, and it just crashed the entire system. And I've had that happen many times. So last night, Claude was saying, hey, you need to do this or whatever. And I said, okay, listen, I've worked with Gemini and ChatGPT, and I've done, 6,500 conversations with Lovable, which is another AI program I use. And it said, my God, you've done 6,500 prompts with Lovable. That gives you a PhD in AI engineering. I go, I'll take it. Send me a certificate saying that. So, but I think
so we'll call
that,
you Dr. Ken.
right.
Exactly.
Well, so Megan hasn't used Claude yet.
Well, Claude is something that, again,
Which I love Claude for writing, especially for writing.
I've heard that too, but Claude is so freaking good at, and thank you, Autumn. Thank you to everybody who shared this out. And if you haven't shared it out, we'll go ahead and assume that you're a communist. So the, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is your show, not mine. What am I doing? I'm sorry. So, listen, you've got to get to know the different. So if you said, hey, can you get me a really cool picture of something? Yes, I can. Guess where I'm going? I'm literally going to ChatGPT to create the photo.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to Grok on X. And Grok, if I want a picture of a chick in a string bikini, I'm going to Grok. Nobody else will do that. I'm kidding.
Well, I found that with film production, though. That's a problem with film production, where the safeguards that are in place, it's difficult to do certain scenes. And like going, look, this is a fictional story. Nobody's being hurt. B, it's like how we need to not be too timid with that. Like with Claude, I wanted to write a scene for an acting class, and I got a little bit obsessed and ended up with a show Bible for a 5-season series that we're now producing. Like,
right.
Okay. It allowed me to learn a brand new skill, to take skills I already have and go way deeper with them.
That's it.
I started out with, hey, if I were a showrunner, how would I approach this? It's like, well, you need a show Bible. I'm like, oh, okay. And next thing you know, we've got this people that have some acting chops are going, I would love to talk to you about that character. So you guys need to take a look at James Matlock, that just ran for railroad commissioner, and his resolution on how to make the AI centers work and not use up all the water. He's amazing, and I'll send you a copy of that, Ken. Nice,
thank you, Autumn.
Because those are resources. It takes a lot of resources to do the compute behind the AI. I did a back of the envelope sketch, and just to do the power.
I thought she's meant centers, not sinners. I'm like, there's AI sinners. Oh my God.
Exactly.
We need to pray for them. So, I mean, here's the thing. And I see Megan's message too, and Gemini does phenomenal work too, but they brand every single photo they create. Now, if you know Photoshop, you can quickly remove that branding, which I do. That's the only thing I don't like about Google and Gemini and all that, is they're putting their brand on it. With with ChatGPT, they don't put their brand on it. I don't know why, but they don't, which is phenomenal.
And something else I wanted to, before I lose the thought,
Yeah.
is, because Henry, you've done a lot of experimenting. Because we'll have, as you're watching this, I know Ken and Henry very well. This is the first time the three of us had an opportunity to come together and have a conversation. And in working with Henry and the conversations that we've had, we'll be talking about something one week, and then the next week you come back and you're, elbow deep in making agentic workflows in Make, and then moving over to other processes. How important or how impactful has that willingness to experiment been in really being ahead of the curve compared to most with the use of AI?
I don't know about ahead of the curve. I mean, I enjoy software from the standpoint of I know that it can do things, so I'm going to try to figure out how to make it do things. I mean, it drives me nuts when people eat simple things like Word or Excel, and they they hard code things into Excel instead of creating formulas. Drives me crazy. Anyway, but I enjoy in playing with software. So trying to figure out, once again, talk to ChatGPT and Claude at the time, like, how can I, serve my business better with AI? And well, okay, let's now get into agentic AI. And here's the agents that you should have. So at the time, it was still low code, but I still had, what sort of agents I had to create my own agents to go help with, especially with marketing. Because that's kind of the Achilles heel for the most part of my business is marketing and getting the message out. And so it was useful to learn and appreciate where it was going and how things were flowing. I shut down a lot of those agents because, to be honest with you, it was actually producing too much for me to actually kind of keep up with, which is another problem. Um, but even in the 2 months since I stopped that, I'm ready to kind of get back into the agentic AI world, and now all of a sudden it's like the tools are different. So they're easier to use now, but the tools are still different. So if I've mentioned it to Jeff a couple of times, it feels like just when you start, you move ahead and you feel like you're on solid ground, all of a sudden you realize that everything else shifted around you.
Yeah.
And it's not that I mean, it is a challenge. I'll just put it out there. I mean, it's a challenge. I don't know that it's frustrating, but it's a challenge.
What part is a challenge? Just so I understand what you mean.
And just Henry, you've got a quick hot hat tip from Megan Watson. Henry, the background you're using is also the one I see Les Brown use a lot. So good company to be standing in.
Exactly. The challenge is trying to stay up with the change.
Ah, yeah.
Because I mean, at some point you want to learn a tool, start to master it, and then kind of take it to a couple of levels. But then I want to move on to the next thing. Well, AI kind of keeps me, if you will, a tad stationary. Yes, I can do things faster. But as far as using the tool or the tools that continue to emerge, you're always, well, I don't know, and maybe it's my Achilles heel. I keep my eyes too much on the landscape of what's out there, what's moving, how people interacting with it, which is one of the things that is a kind of a passion for me. But that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Is things are moving so fast, but it's also cool in some respects.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Well,
see.
and go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and speaking of cool, I was just about to ask you about the big reveal that you've got.
Oh,
Yeah.
Before I disrupted that poignant thought you were about to share.
no, I'll talk about that here in a second. I've had on my podcast, I've had Brian Tracy on my show, who is a legend, and of course, many others. But I see Brian going hog wild with AI. I mean, he gets it, and he's 82 years old, and he gets it.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys ever heard of. Do you remember the TV show called The New Zoo Review? New
I
Zoo
do.
review from
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So the creators of that are named Doug and Emmy Lou, and we keep our horses and donkeys at their property here in North
Oh,
Texas.
cool.
Yeah, they lived in LA for a long time, and but anyway, and had that show and everything. So, but
Because speaking of which, because your wife runs a rescue organization, is it?
she works with a rescue.
Okay.
She doesn't run it. She works. She We ended up adopting some donkeys and a couple
Oh,
horses. And,
cool.
yeah, not. But anyway, we won't talk about that.
No, I was curious. It's
Like,
great, the stuff that we get involved with.
well,
Wait a minute,
and
wanted to
so
share what Megan's big reveal.
Doug from the new zoo review, is I think 78 or 79. He works with AI every single day. This guy is so creative. Like you would some of the ad campaigns that his company that he owns, some of the ad campaigns that they've done, everybody that will ever see this call has heard of 100%. I mean, they've done some of the biggest ad campaigns known to mankind, and it's his creativity. Well, he's, he comes out to the barn. I was over there, and he comes out, we're talking and comparing notes and some of the things that he's doing with AI now and video production and music. And it's like, wow, man, this guy's almost 80 years old and he gets it. And I feel like I'm almost 80 years old some days, but especially since starting to work on this project. So I'll talk about that real fast. I could go on for probably 2 hours at least talking about it, but I've owned an agency for over 20 years. I've been doing this a long time, and my wife was the global VP of marketing for two different companies that do over 500 million a year. And we have a little bit of experience is all I'm saying. And part of my experience is investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into software systems like Teamwork PM, which is a project management system, and Salesforce, which is a lead weight. I'm probably going to get sued for that. And then all the other systems out there. I've used I honestly, if you name a big one, I've used it. I'm all of them. Zoho, I've used all of them. And anytime would sign up for one, I'd see, oh, this is cool, and it'll do this and this, and okay, and I'll sign up, and it's $120 a month or whatever, and then, oh, you want to do that? That's another $70 a month. Okay, I'll do it, and then, oh, hold on, you
Yep.
want to do that? Well, you got to move to our enterprise level, and that's another 400 a month, and I'm thinking, what? And so I like I've been through this so many times for so long, and some of these tools I used for many years. And I have a Go High Level agency, and I'm huge into Go High Level. I've had the CEO of Go High Level on my show, Sean Clark, and so I know all of these tools really well. And years ago, I asked my head developer, hey, I want to build my own project management system because I am tired of the bullshit with these other companies. Pardon my language, but I'm just over it. I'm overpaying all this money for stuff that doesn't even freaking work. And so I sit down one day. I just learned about Lovable being an unbelievable tool, and I'm like, let's see how good Lovable is. And I described exactly what I wanted, and it didn't create it. It did not create it. It created a shell of something similar to what I was thinking, but it was not even remotely close to what I wanted.
Yeah,
And
'cause
so
I've
I've
heard
spent
Lovable is good for kind of an MVP, but to really go with something super big and complicated, you're getting beyond its ability.
Well, no, it's not if you do it right. because it's
Okay.
still built on Supabase, which is a massive, massive database company.
Let me rephrase it. If I get it beyond my ability, then it's not
Well,
worthwhile.
it's approaching it with the right tools. So if I just
Yeah.
go to Lovable and rely only on their AI to converse with, I'm screwed. It's never going to figure it. It'll break everything. It goes and it starts stacking band-aids on top of band-aids, and you end up with a stack of BS is what you end up with. And so I quickly realized, probably a couple of weeks in of working with it, that I needed to figure out a better way. So I got ChatGPT involved. And ChatGPT did much better at helping me deliver what I wanted it to do. And then it started breaking stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then I get Gemini involved, because I wasn't even using Gemini. And Gemini went, oh God, you've got a mess. And I'm like, I know. And it's like, well, let's unravel this and do this and this and this. And so I started really working with Gemini. And then recently, within the last probably month, I heard about Claude. I saw people talking about Claude, and Claude's the best one to use for programming and coding and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing about all these. My AI is the best. And I'm like, holy crap. And I will tell you this. This is what I know, and I will die on this sword. I promise you. Every single AI program out there, the big ones, Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT, they are all amazing, but they all have their place. And what the key to really learning how to use AI to make your life better is to learn which AI to use for what. And when I started using Claude, I'm not kidding. I think I asked it if we could get married. Like it is. Oh, there's my brother. He's leaving. Doug. We'll chat later. But no,
Thanks for
Claude
being
is
part of the
like
conversation, Doug.
Claude is. And if you guys need life insurance, and you do need life insurance, reach out to my brother. He'll take care of you. But the Claude just quickly figured out. I'm so deep into the program. Like, I have a complete video meeting system built into this. It's way more than just a project management and CRM system. It's got so many. This thing is there's nothing like it on the planet, what I've built. And that sounds arrogant, but there's nothing like it. Like my video meeting platform that's built into this, which is high definition, really great meeting platform. When you hit record and you record a meeting, I have AI transcriptions, of course. But what's different is mine's all tied into a project management and CRM system. So if I have a meeting, what's that?
Really?
Yeah, it's all
okay,
tied
Ken.
together.
I'm sorry. It's just an acknowledgement and a response. It's okay. Keep going, brother.
It's all tied together. And so when you get done, you hit the AI transcribe button on the recording. It'll give you the complete transcription instantly, and then it'll pick out things that you talked about in your conversation that you need to make a task so you don't forget it. You click one button, it creates a task in your system for you so you don't forget it. And then if you talked about doing business and Henry's like, yeah, let's do this, man. Send me the agreement. Let's go. I can click one button and use a template of mine, and it'll fill in the blanks, or I can just have it create a contract through Gemini Flash 3.1, which is really, really, really intelligent. And yeah, Megan's in the she's using the system. She knows. And so there's not another video meeting platform anywhere in the world that'll do that. what I'm talking about. And it all is tied together with the CRM and the project management system. And
So it's really an operating system for your business in a sense.
it is. And I solved every, oh yeah, it coaches you. It coaches you on the call too. That's right. And
What?
it coaches you. And I told it to use the top sales trainers in the world to ever known to mankind. Think of the top 5 you can think of, and it took all of their personalities and made one big ass brain personality out of all of that. And so when you're done with the call, it'll tell you exactly what's coming soon, not real soon, within the next 30 days. You'll have on a call live AI telling you, hey, stop talking about that. They just asked you a buying question live on a video call. It's so, this thing is so smart. Look, it's a personal coach. It really is. And it has different coaching personalities. So if you go, well, I want to look at this from a team leader perspective, it has a team leader coach. I want to look
And
at
I
it
just
from
have to say,
sales.
if I didn't know her personally, I would think Megan was a plant that you invited in to promo your new platform.
Megan's awesome. I love Megan.
But I can speak to that. Yes, she is. She is. I know Megan as well. This is legit. She's
she's amazing.
A force of nature all to her own, and it's great to that's a great testimonial that she's one of the early users and going, you know what, this is really making a difference.
So is this the ProFlow that's on your website?
ProFlowPM.com. Yes, it is. It's and again, you can sign up for a free account and test out a few of the features. But the real features, I mean, it $97 a month, and that includes 5 team members for $97 a month, by the way. And then you get to the.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to make sure I understand that. So it's $97 a month per team member?
No, it's $97 a month, and it's 5 team members for that.
What?
Yeah, you get 5 team members.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard, but I was like, that can't be right. $97 a month, and you can run a team of 5 using it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And invite clients. Like I created client portals because we all have clients that we deal with and different types of projects and stuff. And one of the biggest things. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for joining the conversation.
One of the biggest things with running a business is communication is so important. So this tool replaces, let me start with your video meeting platform. So most people use Zoom. It's going to replace that. It replaces any project management system you have. This is better. Any CRM that you're using, this is better. It replaces Calendly. If you sign up, you get your own Calendly. It's called ProFlow Link in this system. It replaces that. It replaces Loom. So if you have if you have a product that you're trying to show a client and you need their approval before you can move it down the pipeline, you can do a Loom. It's called a ProFlow recording. You can record it. I'm waiting on Megan to get back with me. As a matter of fact, on her new website we built, I did a recording. That's what made me think of it. She did some coaching work with me, and she's seen it from both. It's true. It's so true. The idea bubble cluster, the mind map.
So it has idea bubbles and mapping, mind mapping.
It has. I build in a. Have you ever used what's the name of it? It's a infinite whiteboard. So you can go in and it has called live boards,
like a Tally Draw or something like that.
Yeah, well, you can go in and do infinite whiteboards and brainstorming. Oh, she's brainstorming. I got you. But you saw the video, right? I did a screen share video, And it's a Loom style video with a little bubble of you in the bottom, and you're just sharing your screen and recording it, and you send it out. And what's really cool is the system tells you once they've opened it, and you know, all of that too. So there's so many things that it does that to try to explain it in 10, 15 minutes is nearly impossible. But here's what I did. Let me say this. This is because the genesis of the creation of this is pain. And one of my favorite quotes, I wrote this in my first book, pain is the predecessor of all wisdom. Well, I've spent so much money and time over the last 20 years using all of these other tools, and people like me have duct taped all of their tools together for so many years. Like wait, and you got, oh, hold on. Yes, you can do that, but you got to use Zapier or Zapier, however you pronounce it. And Zapier will connect those two things for you, and until Zapier breaks, and then your shit doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait, why are we doing this? Like, why don't we just create it all in one place and forget about all this nonsense? And so it has really advanced AI. Like, you click the microphone button and say, add a contact to my CRM. His name is Henry, and his last name, is it Kahl, Kahl?
Yep.
Kahl. And then Henry's, it'll say, what's his email address? And you give him that, and you speak it, and boom, it puts it in the CRM. And you can say, create a project, and it'll create a project. And you can do all this advanced stuff with AI in my system that doesn't exist anywhere else. How do I know that? Because AI helped me freaking pick all the other shit apart. And I'm like, okay, how do we make that better? And they're like, oh, this is great, especially Chat. I love Chat GPT for this. When you're brainstorming, you got to go to Chat GPT and go, hey, I want to bury Salesforce. How do we do that? All right, let's bury Salesforce. They're only a $260 billion company, but let's bury them. You know, and so I sit here and I'm like, and I got it. Here's the best use for AI. I got to tell you guys this. So I've been working out all of the bugs in this system for literally the last 3 months. Cause and then I'm like, oh God, I got to add this one other little feature. And like now on the app on your phone, it's got a business card scanner. So you can literally scan a business card, bam, puts all the information right into your CRM instantly. AI does it. But so the biggest thing is this. So with notebook, you create notebooks, and I created a Napoleon Hill notebook. I found the Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil on YouTube, and I just use those as the sources. And it instantly scanned the 10-hour long Think and Grow Rich thing and created a massive source. So I created this. Then you go to Gemini and you can hit the plus button in Gemini and select Notebook LM and select however many notebooks you have or want to select. You can select those. So I selected my ProFlow PM brain from Notebook, and I selected the Napoleon Hill brain, and then I selected the what, I forget the guy's name, Myron Golden brain, because I took a bunch of his videos and created a brain, because who knows how to go viral better than Myron Golden. So I put all this into Gemini, and I said, okay, this is real talk time. This is what I said. This is real talk time. I am paralyzed in fear of releasing this to the public. And the reason I'm afraid is I'm afraid of being judged. I'm afraid of it not working properly for people, and then people talking bad about it or talking bad about me. And I literally was just brutally honest and said, these are my fears. Tell me how to overcome this and launch this thing successfully. You wouldn't believe the amazing feedback that Gemini gave me. I mean, amazing, to the point of I instantaneously, within 30 seconds, the fear was completely gone, because I had a firm understanding of what I needed to do and what the steps were.
I want to tag on with what Megan was saying too, with showing to one of her clients that's now interested. He saw the video of you walking through the website. He's like going, okay, this is a tool that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
But to have that kind of guidance and coaching, or being able to get to that point quickly like that, is amazing. In order to go, okay, not clear on what to do. Here's what, here's what's holding me back, and bam.
Yeah.
All right, here's a roadmap, so you can start moving.
It's phenomenal. And again, when I say, like, I anybody that says to you that they never have fear of anything, they'll lie to you about other shit too. Everybody experiences fear. I mean, right? Everybody. Yeah. I'm friends with Jim Keys, who's the former CEO of 7-Eleven and Blockbuster Video. Jim has his own jet, a couple of Ferraris, has all kinds of stuff. And I know Jim really, really well. We all experience fear. The difference between Jim Keys or Grant Cardone, who's a friend of mine too, or whoever, is they have fear. They just do it anyway. Right? They just do it anyway. Or they may say, well, AI, led me the wrong way once. I'm never using it again. Well, that's really dumb, because you're not gonna last. You're not gonna make it.
Or they type in one thing and they get an answer back. And I've heard this even somewhat recently, where people
right.
go, "Oh, it's stupid." Yeah, I did that. I typed the prompt in and it gave me this. It's stupid. It doesn't know what it's doing. I'm not using it anymore. It's like,
right.
All right.
Well, then anybody, you don't. Yeah.
But it's because they're not. It's because it's the raw tool, which is harder for for a lot of folks to put the time in to master, and the tools are changing so fast that something that I couldn't get a good result with last week, this week I may be able to just think it, and it'll go, oh, okay, I had a sense that you were thinking about this. Here's a 90-page result for you.
And it's also tatamorphic. I mean, there's so many different ways to use it.
Yes.
Yeah. That is daunting to some people.
It is, man.
And you mentioned it earlier. I think one of the greatest ways to use it is to say, interview me to achieve this, and using that interview tool as a tool, has been somewhat of a game changer for me. I've always had it ask me questions like, what do you need to know to, provide a better response? But all of a sudden, if it interviews you, it's because then it can, for each response, it starts crafting things a tad differently.
I think that people don't realize that AI can be hey, Sandy McNichol, AI can be a phenomenal coach. It can be a phenomenal. It can give you the topics, like, okay, hey, I'm getting ready to call my buddy Jeffrey Wolfe, just because I need some human interaction and that energy, and I want to ask him about this thing, and can you help me kind of formulate what we should talk about? And I'm not saying replace your brain with it. I'm saying augment your brain with it. Stop trying to be smarter than AI. You're not going to win that freaking race, man. Like, there are people, they're like, no, I'm going down with the ship. I'm old school. I'm like, the ship is gone. It's down already. So you're literally dead. You're just still breathing. You're
in the water. It's cold. You're numb. That's why you think you're going down with the ship.
I mean,
Sandy has a great question. Does it type for you? It's like, that would be helpful. But WhisperFlow is your friend, right?
WhisperFlow,
like that.
WhisperFlow. Use WhisperFlow. Yep. It's $12 a month. I'm telling my brother, because I just about 3-4 weeks ago, I started working with my brother, helping him with all this stuff, and he's been in life insurance forever. But he says, God, everything you tell me to get is like $12 or $20 a month. That shit adds up. I'm like, not as quick. It doesn't add up as quickly as the loss of time and the loss of knowledge. And WhisperFlow, I know this. I speak about 400 times faster than I can type. And I literally don't type unless I'm on a meeting. If I'm on a meeting, like I run Dr. John Gray's podcasts, both of them, and I produce them, and he's phenomenal. John's a dear friend and a client of mine,
John Gray
and
of Venus and Mars. John Gray,
Mars Venus, yeah,
Mars
yeah,
Venus.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
John's awesome. He's funnier than heck. But so I sales add up too. They do. So
Dan
that's the
Altmeyer, thanks for
truth.
joining the conversation, buddy.
Dan, I know you'll share this out. I know Sandy McNichol will share it out too. I'll bet you Megan's already shared it like 5 times. Um, and if not, then we'll just put y'all in the communist category. But so I'm kidding. It's a joke. They share all the time. But
I'll
I
post a
think
1-800 number for complaints later if needed.
yeah, call HR. But I think though that if you I don't even remember what I was saying. I was getting ready to make a really good point and I lost it. Sorry. Must
Good
have
to
been
know.
a
I'm still
lie.
got the mastery of derailing you right as you're about to tell us something profound that
It
we
was
all
Dan.
wanted
It
to
was
write down.
Yeah, it was Dan. But
Yeah.
use AI and if you don't know how to use AI, ask AI how to use it and it will
Well,
tell
yeah,
you.
and that's one of the things about this incredible platform that you've created. You used AI to create a more advanced AI tool,
Way advanced, yes.
which is mind bending. It's like you're saying, you ask AI for the help, ask AI for the guys. Look, I want to do this. Help me craft an app, an agent, a fill in the blank, and it actually has the ability to do that now.
It has a built-in timer. So every project you go work on in this thing, there's a timer. Well, guess what lawyers like to do? They like to keep track of the time that they're working on client projects. And so I have another lawyer client that I was talking to, and she's using my platform. She was actually number 0. She was the very first one. And so I'm talking to Charla about the timer part of it and tracking time. And she goes, we have these things in the legal world called ABA codes, the American Bar Association billing codes. And they have a certain type of, and I said, oh, I can do that probably. Let me just see if I can add it to my timer thing. And within probably 3 hours of working back and forth a lot with AI and programming, and I added ABA codes, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if the system needs to know if you're a law firm? Like, it's not going to do that for a landscaping company. That would be worthless. And it literally, so I set it up. Now it asks you what industry you're in when you sign up, and if you select legal, you have ABA codes. And then she goes, some of my clients, I have to track something called ABA subtask codes as well. And I'm like, son of a, and I'm like, okay.
Come on, they're
So
attorneys. They like to be
I was
very,
like,
very
I didn't know
specific, so
that.
there will be subcodes and subcodes.
Yeah, well, there are just subcodes, and boom, got it with it. Now, since I knew what to do, that's the part of working with AI that I've learned probably the most is you've got, there is such a thing as a prompt engineer. I would definitely put myself as in the category as a qualified prompt engineer at this point. But that's only because I did so many unqualified prompts and spent so much time and money. Um, it's crazy. So I was, I've been able to create these things really fast now because I understand which AI to ask, and I
Hmm.
understand exactly how to ask it what I need it to do. So sorry, I feel like I'm pontificating now.
That's right. A little pontification is good, and it's part of the conversation that I was hoping for. And again, it's what are we learning along the way, and that's a key point.
Yeah.
It comes from the experience of digging into this and making use of it, experimenting with it,
Yep.
finding
Playing with
solutions.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to. You have to be willing to experiment, or like, yeah. Sandy says, just ask AI for what you need and then pay the fee. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Pay for it. Pay for it.
Or
And if
ask,
you're,
you know, a question that I asked, I was experimenting with something and I didn't want to shell out any additional money until I had an idea of where to run with it. And AI and I pitched it to all three of the major LLMs, right? I
yeah,
started with Claude. That's usually where I start. When Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, to see what answers they would get after having a conversation with them. It's like, look, how do I achieve this? What are my options? Best path forward to do this without shelling out any money yet, because it's an
yeah,
experiment.
yeah.
And it's like, wow, okay, got some really solid, some really solid planning that then I could go noodle around with.
You have to be willing to
So pontificating works better with a pointy
pointy
hat.
hat. You have to be willing to, and I look at this like I don't even know how much money I've invested at this point. A lot
Yeah.
of money in these programs to build what I built. Not to mention the 18 hours a day or 16 hours a day of my time. And that's, if I'm not working on a client project, then I'm working on this system. And I'm primarily because my wife does 90% of the stuff on client projects. I'm spending most of my time working on this system 7 days a week, 16 plus hours a day. So, I honestly, at first, it was just I'm curious if it'll do it. Like, and then it
Yeah.
started like building this shell, and I'm like, wait a minute, that looks like a shell. And I wonder if I can put some sand in it over here and make it and now it's turned into this, it's amazing. So anyway. Yeah.
This is awesome. See, got me so excited. I just destroyed my really expensive microphone almost.
Oh no.
Um,
Sounds good still.
I'm teasing. It's a good mic,
Okay.
but it wasn't. This has been a great conversation, and we could go on for quite some time. Would love to maybe at a future point to have a demo of ProFlow and talk about that
Absolutely.
some more, and
Yeah. Yeah.
some more about
Love that.
the entrepreneurial journey as well. Henry,
Yeah.
this is awesome having you as a co-host. I really appreciate you were able to join in today.
I'm just glad I could get a front row seat to listen to Ken.
Oh, come on. Stop it. Stop. I know, one day I hope I make it. That's it.
Me too.
This is
Again,
true.
make it again. That's the thing. Up and down,
Yeah.
up and down.
Up and down.
It's like slalom skiing without having the course marked out.
No, but I'd like to. I'm kind of curious about ProFlow and how it might help those with less than 5 people. But to see if it can't allow scaling faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, those are the kind of tools that are needed to be able to go from that, I kind of got a business idea. Let's see if it's got legs, to, all right, we're running some revenue. Now we're starting to build a team. And then you hit that, you get up to a team of 5, especially with today's AI tools.
Yeah.
You've got a serious enough business that now you're going to be making a big leap when you scale from there anyway. So
Yep.
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
Ken, thank
Well,
you for being so generous with your time and your
Yeah.
experience. It's exciting to hear more about ProFlow, and we'll
Thank you.
do this again if we can in the not too
Thank you.
distant future to get some
I'm
more.
grateful. Thank you. This is the first time I've talked about it really publicly.
Yep.
So in detail. So thank you.
So
Appreciate
see,
it.
because you were here live with us, or if you're watching us on the replay, you got the global announcement. This was a global event. First time reveal, ProFlow. Go check it
Thank
out.
you.
And to check it out, here on the banner, we're showing you, Henry. We'll come back to Henry in just a moment. For more with Ken, go to proflowpm.com
Yeah.
and start to experiment more. your
You
business
can sign
will
up for a
prosper.
free
You guys-
account. You can get
there
a
you
free
go.
account.
Sign up for a free account.
Yeah.
And I'm not even giving you my affiliate ID. So there, go
Hey.
sign up for a free account. It's that important. You want to dig into these kind of tools now, because if you don't, someone else in your industry is going to, and in 6 months, they'll be so far ahead, you won't be able to catch them.
Exactly.
You know, ask AI about the compounding effect of learning, and it will frighten you, because right now, at the pace that things are moving, it's really about a 6-month mile marker where people that dig in, they're so far ahead that they're doing stuff that looks like black magic compared to those that are just starting out, and the gap is not closable.
It's getting
So,
crazy.
and Henry, again, thank you for joining us. Connect with Henry at businessthink.com. And we will be back for more interviews and more with the Adventure CEO series, Adventure CEO Leadership Insights, sharing the journey, having some fun, playing big, and, talking about what the heck is going on with all this crazy AI stuff.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Very welcome.
Appreciate you having me
Thank you,
on.
gentlemen. And thank you for being part of the conversation. Check in for the next one. Bring something to write with and bring your questions, because it's always live and interactive. Come on now. This is 21st century television. We'll see you on the trail.